Howdy, travelers, and welcome to the Temple of Kung Fu. As always, I'm your host, the Shaolin Kid, and tonight's tale is the 1978 Shaw Brothers produced Kung Fu classic starring Gordon Liu. The 36th Chamber of Shaolin. Yeah. It's also a Dragon Dynasty release, which we own a lot of these, and we're trying to catch them all. We're trying to catch them all. You know, they're like the Pokemon of Kung Fu movies. But, well, like, kind of, I guess. Not really, but whatever. This movie is obviously it's a Kung Fu film, but it's also about an urban legend, or a myth, on how Kung Fu spread through China, because there was a legend where Kung Fu was originally only taught to Shaolin monks, and eventually one monk broke off and started teaching, like, just people Kung Fu, and that's how it spread. But that's just a legend. We don't know if that's true or not. But it's a very interesting tale, and this movie takes, like, the average Kung Fu format and turns it in, and, like, adapts that urban legend. And it's really good. I feel like the ending is the best part because it's the most ridiculous, and I love a ridiculous Kung Fu film. You guys probably know that by now. But, it was just great. Like, there is I'm gonna spoil this movie, like, it comes no surprise. But there was, he was, like, near the end of the movie. He was fighting the big bad, like, general guy in, like, a field. And at one point, he headbutted him in the gut, and he lifted him up. He fucking tossed him over with his head. He somehow managed to lodge his head into this man's stomach. Not like blood or anything, like literally, like magnetized his head to his gut and toss him over like he was some kind of fucking, like, goat or ram or some shit. It was fucking great. That was probably the most ridiculous and funniest part of it. Because the rest of it was, like, actually pretty, like, interesting. The beginning is a little slow, but it really picks up once he gets to the temple, learns Kung Fu. So, like, the plot synopsis is basically, this guy, he's just, like, a student at this normal school, and he's learning ethics. And his family gets killed by these evil general, like, government guys. His family gets killed, his friends get killed, and he eventually flees with his other friend. Then he gets killed, and he flees to the Shaolin Temple, where they take him in, and they teach him the ways of Kung Fu. And throughout the whole movie, it's, like, basically a long training montage, and then eventually he gets banished and exiled from the temple. Well, he gets banished because he wanted to introduce a new Chamber of Shaolin, where he would teach outsiders Kung Fu, just average people. And the big boss man, he's like, no, you can't do that. And he argued with him, so he's like, you don't argue with me, you don't ever debate my decisions, you get the fuck out of here. And he was like, okay, I deserve that. And then he leaves. And so basically, then, he has a plan to kill the general guy, which he does at the end of the movie, and then he starts a new school where he starts teaching outsiders Kung Fu. And that's basically the gist. But, honestly, I don't have much to say about this movie, except for, like, there was one training section they had while they were in the Shaolin Temple, and most of them made sense. Like, you know, like, being strong, lifting things, like, lifting heavy things, you know, balancing, you know, shit like that. But then they just had a training exercise where all you did was you put your hands like this, and you ran through beanbags, headbutting them with your fucking forehead. just headbutting sandbags. That was the exercise. It was pretty ridiculous. And then Gordon Liu just like ran, like the other guys behind him were just like, like they were like hurt and they were falling to the ground. And Gordon Liu was just running through it like, just endlessly smacking his head up against the beanbags. And then he got the incense and he put it in the thing. And he beat the exercise. But, like, it was... it was really ridiculous. And also my head hurts. But yeah. Ow. I shouldn't have been headbutting my hand. That hurt. I haven't had the proper training, guys. I need to get the proper training. Is there like a red spot on my head? Well, anyway. You know, I really enjoyed this film. You know, I thought it was really great. I liked Gordon Liu's, like, kung fu ability in this movie, obviously. I wasn't going to doubt that. The fight scenes were great, as usual. You know, it was... I don't know, I liked it. I don't really know what else I can say about it. Yeah, I don't think I have much more to say. You know, it's just the average high-production Shaw release, and it's just great all around. If you haven't seen this, by all means, go see it. It's an all-time classic. You know, go out of your way to go see it. If you're a Kung Fu fan, highly recommend it. But, you know, I think I've said my piece. I think I've said the things I need to say. And I'm going to rate this film an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Kung Fu scale. Kung Fu movie, 8 out of 10. So, guys, thanks for stopping by the temple. I really appreciate it. You know, thanks, guys, for supporting the temple. You know, like it. Share it with your buddies that are grinding the rice down the street. Subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on. Leave a comment down below. And, as always, we will be praised. Freeze time ending! Hwah!